Okay, everybody talks about quantum leaping into your next level, but let me explain what that actually means, because this is actually how I jumped into my first $20,000 month. Quantum jumping isn't about doing more or working more or hustling harder. It's about shifting your energetic identity. The version of you that already has the income that she desires, she already exists. She's just living in a different energetic timeline. And when you change your frequency through beliefs, emotions, and nervous system regulation, you collapse the space from where you are and where she is. It's not magic, it's all embodiment. If your body doesn't feel safe holding that next level of abundance, it will unconsciously push it away every single time. When I quantum jumped into my $20,000 month, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just decided that I'm going to be the woman who makes $20,000 months feel normal. I kept embodying her energy, speaking like her, trusting like her. I listened to my sleep codes every single night to rewire my subconscious and create safety in my body to receive more. Then the money, it literally came so effortlessly. And that is the power of the quantum jump. It's not about waiting for the proof, it's about becoming the proof.
The biggest green flag that you're about to quantum leap your income. And this has nothing to do with your current bank account. In fact, you could literally be in so much debt and still have this work. Okay, tea time. The biggest marker of transformation when it comes to finances and abundance is an internal one. That means you actually create abundance mentally before you see it show up in your 3D reality. According to neuroscience, when you no longer identify as a broke person, your reticular activating system will be hardwired for success. Meaning you will no longer be seeking for evidence that you're a failure. You will no longer be saying things like, I can't afford this. And you'll stop believing that money is hard to come by. And you'll enter what is called the knowing state. This happens when your body and your mind are synced up with wealth consciousness. When you have successfully reprogrammed lack out of your reality and you're making big, bold moves as the version of you who's already rich as fuck, money will literally become the easiest thing for you to manifest. So if you're emotionally transforming and you're feeling unbothered by the lack in your current circumstances, get ready, because that is the number one sign that you're about to quantum fucking leap your income.
If you truly have the desire to change your life, instead of spending all of your energy trying to fix all of the horrible things that happen, just create new memories. Just create new ones. At this point, you're probably going to have to start doing something called quantum leaping. Start using the power of your imagination, just like when you were a child. Use your imagination to create a new reality for yourself. That's the hack. That's the hack. If you've tried everything, it's time to try something else. And you're probably going to have to use your imagination.
This is one of those videos that you have to stick around for its entirety, because understanding this will make you a very powerful person. I've been thinking about quantum jumping a lot, which is basically being able to change your reality by jumping from one to the next. One of my followers asked to talk about it, and so that was my sign to talk about it. Okay, so the truth is we live in a parallel universe, which basically means that there's multiple different versions of the world, but we only see one at a time. This has been shown time and time again by scientists through experiments such as Schrodinger's cat. Parallel universe is just a fancy way to say a world that coexists with our world, but is very different from it. For my religious folk that aren't too shabby with science, religion talks about this too. The variation of Earth from a religious sense would be heaven or hell, or the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm doesn't only exist when we pass away. It exists all the time right now. It is parallel to us. It is current, simultaneous, and always accessible through practices such as meditation and prayer. So why is this important? Why does knowing about parallel universes matter? And what does it have to do with manifestation? Let me tell you why. The thing about having parallel universes means that if there's a parallel universe, there are parallel versions of you as well. Yes, You are operating in this realm, but also operating in other realms simultaneously. I'm literally getting chills. There are different levels of you operating at higher levels of consciousness, while others are operating at lower levels of consciousness, but they are all accessible. This is where quantum jumping comes in. Quantum jumping is pretty much changing your reality by jumping parallels or levels of consciousness. Basically, there's a better version of you, but there's also a lesser version of you. And with every decision that you make, you become more like one or the other. You know when you have a goal or a dream that's always on your mind, you feel so close to it, it feels like it could be yours. It's almost like a dream that feels like you have, it feels like you can have it, but then you look around and you don't. You feel so tied to it because that is something that you do have in another parallel. You can fill yourself with it because you already have it. It is in fact already yours, and the Bible talks about this as well. We think it's something that we're dreaming of in the future. We think it's something that we see in the future, but in reality, we're not seeing it in the future. We're experiencing it in a parallel universe. This is what they mean when they say the past, present, and future are actually happening at the same time. They're not far and near. They're actually parallel, all happening at the same time. And the goal is to jump from one plate, one version to another by increasing consciousness. So how do we jump? Luckily for us, there are so many ways. If we are trying to get things that our higher self has, we will just have to do higher things. This is where spirituality and science once again come together. This is why we pray. This is why we talk to Jesus, God, spirit guides, angels, loved ones, whatever. Our higher selves has those things that we dream of. So if we tap into a higher realm, we could get the information needed to receive those things. It's almost like a telephone, right? Like, hi guys, can you tell me what the fuck to do? Can you show me what my higher self is doing so I can do that too? And of course, this is an analogy shifted to make it fit. Prayers like, God, show me the way. Help me to obtain things that I know are for me. Religiously, it's socially acceptable to leave those things at prayer, right? But these are all ways of manifestation. This is just one way to quantum jump. We could jump by the words we say, the things we do, meditation, focus and intention. Every decision, every action is a jump. I'm gonna say that again. Every decision, every action is a jump, either up or down. You're either splitting into the higher version of yourself or the lower version. But the reality or the universe you get to experience is ultimately up to you and the decisions you make. Anyway, this is getting deep, right? So there's so many things to say. There's so many things to explain. So maybe I should start a series on quantum jumping.
Right before a quantum leap or an identity shift, or right before you receive everything you prayed for, you will go through a phase I like to call calibration. And it is basically when you are getting your mind, body, and spirit to all act on one accord. Where I'm at right now is getting my brain to finally align with my new nervous system. Because baby, my nervous system is brand new. Okay, she's new. She's ready for everything that comes along with being seen. But it's my mind that wants to keep replaying the past. It's my mind that wants to remind me when bitches was being weird and when people tried to sabotage me or when people betrayed me, and then it stops me in my tracks almost from doing or saying the thing, from feeling safe. So where I'm currently at in my own quantum leap is I'm almost to that phase where everything syncs up at once. Calibrating. I'm shifting. I'm changing. I'm upgrading. What are you doing?
I called it a really big manifestation last week. It was big as in I felt like this was the biggest inner transformation I have made thus far in my life. I was suddenly a match for this thing. It was a result of me changing my beliefs, changing my stories, taking actions towards the thing that I want and matching the frequency of it, which is why it came in so easy and effortlessly as a result of all this work that I had done. After it came in, I noticed 3 things are happening that I've never experienced before. And I know that when you do up level, it can feel a little fragile. So I just want to talk about it in case this resonates with anyone else. The thing is that my inner chatter got really quiet. If you meditate, you know what I'm talking about. It's like your inner voice and inner dialogue that's always going on in your head. And a lot of times for me, certain things where I had a lot of really strong fears around, that voice would always be popping up, challenging me, criticizing me, like whatever, just basically trying to keep me safe in its own way and like stopping me from doing the scarier thing. After this manifestation came in, it got so quiet, almost to the point that I was like, hello, is anyone in there? It was just not there. It was super quiet. And I think the reason for this is because I have proved it wrong. I got the thing I wanted without doing any of the things that this fearful voice believed I had to do. So it was disproven. Second thing, this was really interesting. I was super wired for days. I felt like I had drank like a really strong energy drink or something. I was just so energized. And I think that's because the energy that had previously been used to control, to be fearful, to now been freed up. The third thing, this is the most interesting one of all. Time started slowing down. This was really weird. I would be doing a bunch of work and then I would look at the time and it would be way earlier than I thought. It was like time slowed down. And I think that's because I was actually being present. Before, I was always in a state of crisis, problem solving, urgency, like time scarcity. I was always just rushing on to the next thing. I never had enough time. And now, because these fears were dispelled, nervous system started to calm down, I was able to be present, and because that time expanded. That was very interesting. So now that I'm in this integration phase, there are a few fears popping up, waiting for the other shoe to drop, like wondering if this actually is real or if it's going to be taken away from me. That's based on my past programming, but I'm choosing to stay where I am now because I'm starting to like integrate and things are starting to feel normal again. But those were 3 very interesting things I noticed that came up right after I got the thing I wanted. And it's because it's new and because it is something I've never experienced before, and it is showing me that this is possible, which means that all my old programming that believed otherwise now has to catch up. Hello, so I'm at the 4-month mark of my quantum leap experiment. I have a few major manifestations all come in back to back. I'm going to be talking about what has come in at this point, and then I'll do a part 2 that talked about high level how I got there. So in the span of a couple weeks, I had 3 major tangible manifestations pretty much back to back. I called in a new client at my new rate, super aligned, feels really, really good. I manifested a free flight, and then I also called in a corporate consulting client. Pretty big things back to back. I actually had to sit with it for a bit, and in the spirit of what I've been doing for this challenge, I've been taking different actions, and instead of me immediately broadcasting it to everyone what was happening, I actually just sat with it for a bit, and I was pretty dysregulated as a result of these things coming in, and it was like back to back. And it's because I have a fear around receiving, so I had to really regulate my nervous system, even though good things were happening. So those were the tangible things, but there were also a lot of intangible things, including a total shift in my identity, a really, really deep sense of self-worth and self-trust, and overall, just a really constant feeling of peace and freedom and authenticity. It's these intangible manifestations. These are the reason why I got the tangible things, because I raised my frequency to be at that state where this is just how I feel all the time now, and as a result, I was a match for the things I'm calling in. But looking back, I am a little bit shocked at how easily everything came in. And it's not like I'm shocked that they happened. I knew this was going to happen. I wasn't quite sure how. I wasn't quite sure when. I didn't really know exactly what it would look like. I just knew that I was going to be successful because I have been working so hard on trusting myself, trusting the universe, trusting the process. But I didn't think it was going to be like this easy. Like on the surface, it looked like I didn't exert that much effort, and it was pretty quick. I thought that I would have to be doing these actions I was doing longer. I thought I would have to try harder, work harder, which is my old programming. But it was actually really easy. It was almost like too easy. I was like, oh, no, that's it. It's because I'm just a match for those things. Everything I've called in now has been from a state of ease, from a state of spaciousness, a state of expansiveness, creativity, sort of really generative energy. And this is how I want to feel all the time now. And this is the identity that I was really rooting myself in. And now I'm like, I spent the last week or 2 really locking this in, really integrating and really letting myself know, like, this is my new normal now. This is just who I am. This is my new identity. And this is how my life is going to look and feel. I want this spaciousness. I want this ease. I don't want to be struggling and hustling my whole life. I've done that for many years. And now I'm ready to know that it can be easy, because it has been. But it's not like I didn't do anything. I've been doing deep inner work for this all year consistently. So I'll talk about a bit of what I did in part 2. I just called in a bunch of major manifestations. This is 4 months into my quantum leap experiment, where I've been consciously taking different actions in order to receive different results. And I'll be talking a bit about
some of the high level things I've done to get to this place. Consistently all the way through, I've been taking my feelings really seriously. And this is a practice I've been doing for a long time. Sit with it, process it, get curious about it, be interested about it. And this was especially true for the more negative feelings, whereas before I would kind of like push them away or avoid them or repress them. Instead, I would bring them to the surface, sit with it, see what's going on, deal with it, and most importantly, look at what stories I'm attaching to it. So we are the product of cultural programming and conditioning. We're just our stories, and stories are just beliefs. There's thoughts that we have repeated over and over until they become fact, but they're not true. So a lot of the times when these negative feelings were coming up, there was a story attached to it. This means something about me. And every time I noticed those things, I would work to change those stories. This was one of the hardest things to do, and I made a few videos about it. And you also can see in the summer I was really struggling with this, is to surrender. And this is what all manifestation teachers tell you to do, right? Surrender, let go, trust in the process, detach. And I was just like, how do you do that? How do you do that? I'm trying so hard to surrender. I'm trying. And that was precisely the problem. The problem was I was trying. Late summer, early fall, I started to stop resisting. I started to stop fighting so much. And I also started to stop trying so hard. Because part of my programming was doing more, trying harder, forcing. And that's so against the person that I'm wanting to be, the person I am now. And it's also very against my values. It's very capitalistic, and I am very much an anti-capitalist. Why was I still doing this? Whatever. I learned that the more that I rested, the more I received. And sometimes this would look like I would get clarity in a dream. I remember one week I got sick, and part of me wanted to keep working, and I stopped myself, and I just consciously rested for a few days despite all of the fears. And at the very end of that, I manifested something. This just kept happening again and again. I kept getting more proof that the more I rest, the more I receive. The more I stop trying, the more I receive. And it's really tricky because you can't fake this. Universe knows. And that's, that's spiritual bypassing. That's like taking an action without the belief. You need the belief and the intention, the energy to align with the action. And that's why I had to keep practicing over and over and over. Which brings me to having a sense of deep trust and faith. And this was one of the big things that I manifested, was a really, really deep sense of trust within myself, which is like what I had identified at the beginning of this year as like something I really needed to work on. And I knew that if I unlocked this, everything else would follow. And it did. I just had total and utter faith in the process, in the universe, in myself. I just knew it was going to work out. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, and that didn't matter. I just knew that if I kept going, it would work. Then I started to get into a flow. I was really like co-creating with the universe. Every setback, every delay wasn't a problem. It was an opportunity for me to learn something, for me to refine a lesson that I needed to learn, to gain skills that I needed. That's the kind of like pace I was getting at right before I called in all of these major manifestations. And then you have to take aligned action. I'm not one of those people that is like, oh, just affirm and you will get everything. I know some people teach that. I'm also not a manifestation teacher at all, but this isn't what I believe. You got to take action, right? You're co-creating with the universe. For me, a really big piece of where I got tested a lot was boundaries. And I'm still getting tested like every day on this, but the more I set boundaries, the more I received, the more that I was clear with aligning what I will not put up with, and then taking an action and making sure my energy was really like aligned with that. Sometimes I would like set an energetic boundary, and I would take like a really small action, but I would just make a decision like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. And then next day something came in. It was like that fast sometimes. But for me, a really big piece was saying no to the things that are not aligned with me. And sometimes it's not a matter of actually saying no to that thing. It's just a matter of ignoring it or blocking it or just turning my energy and attention away from that thing. So only putting my intention and energy into the things that I want. Most important of all of aligned actions, especially for me, was knowing when to not take action. I do a lot. I rarely do nothing. And in this process, the biggest thing I learned is knowing when to take action and when to stop. Because manifesting is not about doing more. It's not about trying harder. It's not about working hard. It's about getting aligned. And so for me, it was a lot of resting. It was a lot of stepping back, a lot of doing nothing, a lot of trying less. That actually really, really worked for me because it was in alignment with who I want to be. Because of that, it was really important for me to stop pause, slow down. That did so much more for me than anytime I did more. And that was probably my biggest lesson in this whole thing. And if you look back onto my journey, you can see a lot of times when I was struggling and just like what should I do next, what should I do next, and scrambling, and like every time I did that, it would just get more and more delayed. I can just imagine the universe being like, oh my god, you just don't get it, do you? Just stop and see what happens. And then I got everything.
You deserve to live in your most abundant timeline because you are naturally born rich. And this is something that people normally forget as soon as they're born. Notice a lot of people on here teach quantum leaping, but they don't even explain like what it is. I'm going to teach you how to quantum leap into your most abundant state, your most abundant identity, so you can start manifesting the big bucks. The way an actual quantum leap happens is when an atom in the quantum field expands itself energetically and goes poof, it becomes bigger, and it jumps into a brand new timeline, a different state. In this equation, you are the atom here. So how are we going to get you to energetically expand yourself and go poof and jump into a brand new timeline? We have to elevate the emotions, because what are emotions? Energy in motion. So you have to elevate the energy into that specific state. I'm going to show you how. This is the exact method that all of my girlies here are doing to manifest massive income. I'm talking about 5-figure months. Even some people are manifesting 6-figure months just by downloading the manifestation formula that you guys can get at the very top of my page to learn how to quantum leap. The majority of people are operating out of lack consciousness, which is pretty much just scanning your current 3D reality and noticing what's missing. Money's missing. My bills are not paid. I don't have enough. Food is too expensive. We're operating out of fear and lack. And what actually represents you on the quantum field is your energy. It's not your face. It's not your body. It's the energy that you embody. So if you're consistently living in a lack-based energy, you're just manifesting and creating more versions of lack everywhere that you go. So you're literally feeling like no matter how hard you work, there's just not enough money for you. To make the quantum leap, we have to energetically change you. So you are the change that you actually want to experience here. And one of the main ways that I teach this inside of the academy is by consciously blessing money going in and out of your life. You're going to bless every single dollar that you spend. I get to pay my bills. I get to pay rent. I get to afford the water bill. I'm so lucky. I'm the luckiest individual in the world. I bless all this money going into all these different locations, paying other people's bills. On top of that, you're going to bless every single dollar coming in. I'm so grateful for this paycheck. I'm so grateful for this $5 I just found on the ground. I'm so grateful I just manifested free food. There is ways to bless your income going in and out every single moment of the day. And what this does for you is it aligns you energetically with the feeling of abundance. You can practice something like blessing your money for the next 30 days. You are going to quantum leap energetically into your abundant timeline. And don't be fooled, because money comes in so many different ways, whether it comes with free food or your credit card bill getting zeroed out, or some people are manifesting 6-figure checks within the same month, like insurance or inheritance checks. Ask yourself right now, in the quantum field, what does my energy say about me?
Once you understand this one piece about quantum leaping, you'll never see it the same again. Because this one piece is the thing that not many people talk about and are prepared for. Because when you think about quantum leaping, which is essentially, I'm going to step into the reality of the desired financials, the desired business success, the desired leadership, the desired outcomes of relationships and how I feel, all of that. When I step into that version, it's going to come in and it's going to feel good. What a lot of people don't realize about quantum leaping is when you're calling in this desired reality, a lot of this reality currently has to fall away to be able to make space for what you are calling in. When it falls away, it feels like, why is everything falling apart? I mean, I'm calling in all of this good stuff. I'm taking the actions in my business. I'm doing the things like, what is happening? It has to fall away to make space for what you're calling in. This could look like loss of opportunities all of a sudden. It almost feels like the opposite is happening before the actual good comes in. And there's also a grief process that happens, because not only might you lose the opportunities, you're going to have to say goodbye to versions of yourself that held this reality together. You might lose friends, which is something I'm currently navigating. You might lose relationships, things that logically you're like, I don't understand why it feels like things might be imploding right now. And it's all just like divinely orchestrated. In this new chapter that you're writing, a lot of the old characters are gonna have to fall away so that the new ones can be introduced. Because this is the story of your life. This is the story of growth. This is the story of your success and who you're becoming. And sometimes it's just not gonna make sense while it's happening and while it's feeling like pieces are crumbling away. But I promise you, it is divinely orchestrated. So hold the vision, keep it moving. It's all working in your favor.
I manifest everything I want like this. Not because I got lucky. It's not because I came from rich parents. I just believe that everything I want is mine and I have it. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how to do it in just 4 easy steps. The method is I see it, I want it, I like it, I got it. From Ariana Grande. It's from her song 7 Rings, but it also applies in real life. It's actually a real manifestation tactic that I use and you can use as well. 6 months ago, I was a stay-at-home girlfriend. I had $0 to my name and I was content in that situation because from my mindset, that's what I wanted, and I thought that that was the only way for me to be able to acquire, you know, money, or I didn't think that I would be able to afford like rent monthly and all these other aspects that went into it. But overall, I didn't have any money. I was in an unhappy relationship, and in the span of 6 months, I completely changed the trajectory of my life. I now have my own apartment. I pay my own rent. I do everything myself, and I'm abundant and just on the, you know, right path for myself. And all of that happened because I started believing in myself. You have to do it for yourself. And then I applied these 4 tips. So number 1, I saw my apartment. I went, I toured it, I liked it, and I said, oh, I want that apartment. I'm gonna have it. Now, I don't have perfect credit. I didn't have, you know, all the things that you need for the apartment. I didn't have a couch. I didn't have none of that stuff. But like I said in my previous video, I knew it was on the way to me, and I knew that it was attainable because I said so. So I shopped for couches. I shopped for, you know, the bed that I wanted. I just got so excited about this apartment because I decided that I wanted, so therefore I will have it, like, without a question. I think that growing up spoiled as a kid really helped me to be able to have like this mentality. A lot of people used to, like, you know, just poke fun at me like, oh, you're so spoiled. And it's like, it's not because my mom had, you know, all the money in the world. She was a struggling single mom who just made it happen. But her allowing me to feel spoiled allowed me to become this adult version of myself who does not answer to no. I don't accept the word no. And it's kind of funny, like, but it has helped my life so much because I don't take no for an answer. Anytime I make my mind up that I want something, like a spoiled brat, I know that I'm gonna have it. And so I think that, you know, you guys should have this kind of spoiled brat mentality. If you want something, don't think like of the negative possibilities. Only think about the future you that's gonna have it. In the words of Ariana Grande, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. You have to live and breathe this every day with whatever it is that you want. If you want a new house, if you want a new dog, if you want, you know, just a new life, really, it's all possible. There's no limits to what we can achieve, and there's no like expiration date either on when you can have it. So I think just knowing that and just believing in that is going to change your life. Hope this video helps like always. I just wanted to make a quick video. It's been like about a month, so I just wanted to come back on here and give some words of encouragement and some advice that has helped me. And yeah, thank you guys.
When I quantum leaped and manifested 3 times my monthly income, started making the most money I've ever made in my life, I fell out with my friends that exact week. The way that it happened was so weird. When I think back on it, I'm like, no, I definitely jumped timelines. There was a situation between me and my homegirls at the time. One of my homegirls, we're going to call her Ashley, and the other homegirl, Brittany. Ashley said something to me that I repeated to Brittany, because me and Brittany were like, Brittany had got mad at me for something, and I was like, Ashley told me this. And Brittany was like, you're a fucking liar. What the fuck, why are you lying? Da, da, da. And I'm like, what the fuck, like, liar? Just ask Ashley. She literally said it. Ashley then texts my phone and she's like, why would you tell Brittany that I said this when I never said it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You literally did say that. The thing is, I don't think now looking back that Ashley was lying. I think she literally doesn't remember saying it. I'm like, the entire week, I was like, what the why would they like turn on me like that? That was so weird. Like, I didn't even do shit. Like, literally the situation, I didn't even do, like, I'm literally like, what the logically, I couldn't explain why that happened the way that it did. Looking back now, I'm like, damn, like, nah, they had to not been in alignment with my new higher timeline, and that's why they fell away. My best friend can vouch for me. She witnessed it all. Like, it was like they literally turned into different people overnight. I feel like it's no point in really like ruminating on why like you fall out with certain people. It's literally just alignment. Especially for my people who are also on paths of conscious evolution. Not everybody can come with you, bruh.
Quantum leaping is not for the weak, okay? You have to be a strong mother lover if you are wanting to quantum leap your life and to maintain that reality. Here are the top 3 things that you are bound to experience when you are wanting to make a quantum leap and to change your life. Number 1, everything is going to feel like it's falling apart. Literally, your life is going to feel like it is in shambles. And that is because you are breaking up the energetic field around you. You are signaling to the universe, you're signaling to God that you are wanting something different and you are willing to become the person who is having, doing, and being the things that you want and has the life that you are wanting. So number 1, things are going to feel like it's falling apart. And that is because the old identity, the old ideas, the old beliefs has to be dismantled in order for you to build upon new ones. Number 2 is people will fall away. There are people in your life that resonated with the old version of you in the old frequency. And when you are changing your frequency, you are changing your life, you're asking for new things, then sometimes those same people, they don't know how to keep up with you, okay? You are accelerating at an extremely fast pace. You are quantum leaping. And so these people around you, they just can't keep up with you. It's not that, you guys don't love each other or have beef or anything like that. It's just that you are vibrating on a different frequency than you were when you met that person. And so you have to be ready to lose people because you're going to be vibrating at a different frequency and you guys are no longer going to resonate. Number 3 is going to be isolation. Okay, when you are quantum leaping, you may be isolated. Isolation can be because God is going to bless you. He's going to bless you for stepping outside of your comfort zone. He's going to bless you for trusting yourself and for trusting Him on this new journey. So that isolation can be because those blessings are for you and for you alone, okay? You will get blessings that you are, to share with other people, but then again, you will be isolated because some of those blessings are for you and for you only. So when you are feeling that isolation, just sit in it and just know that you're not alone and that this season is not forever.
According to quantum physics, each time that you make a decision, you always have 2 options. And when you finally make one decision, the universe splits into 2 parts. When people say they quantum leap, it's because it's true. So you can always go to the parallel universe that you want and desire.
Quantum leaping is real, and for years you guys have been telling me that I'm giving out the best explanation on how to quantum leap, so let's do it again. Let's say this is you, and this is the version of yourself that is already living your dream life, that has the dream money bank account, the dream relationship, the glow up, like everything that you want right now. This version of yourself that already exists in the quantum field, they already have it. Now, this is the gap between the 2 of you. And the question is, how do you complete the quantum jump to become this version of yourself when you are here right now? And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this. So by the end of watching this, you will exactly know how to complete this quantum jump to this reality where everything that you want is already real, in order to manifest all of those things into your current reality. Ready? Now, how a quantum leap works is through matching electromagnetic fields. And it sounds complicated, but let me explain it. This version of yourself has an electromagnetic field, and you also call this your frequency. This version of yourself has also an electromagnetic field. This is their frequency. Now, the way to quantum leap
is to get into the electromagnetic field of this future version of yourself. And here's how you can do that. To do that, you need to understand what your electromagnetic field is exactly. Your electromagnetic field is made up of your thoughts that are electric and your emotions that are magnetic. So your thoughts and your emotions, they make up your electromagnetic field. So by now, you understand that this version that you are right now thinks and feels differently than the version, your future self, that already has everything that you want, right? Now, the key to complete the quantum jump is to consistently think and feel like this version of yourself, okay? Now, the goal is not to be delusional, because this doesn't work. If you are delusional, you are still thinking and feeling negative emotions, but you're just pushing them away. This doesn't work because this does not change your core frequency. This does not change your electromagnetic field, okay? In order to change your electromagnetic field, you need to be able to think and feel like this future version of yourself consistently. Now, the only reason why you cannot do that is because right now you have certain subconscious trauma blocks that are still creating the survival self within you, that are still keeping you stuck in fear, in a fight or flight mode, in self-doubt, in self-abandonment, in self-hatred. So this version of yourself who already has all of your goals, they do not have these negative belief systems about themselves. They do not have these negative thoughts. They do not have these negative emotions about themselves, okay? So now the question is, how do you release those subconscious trauma blocks? In order to do that, you need to understand what your shadow self is. Shadow self is a part of your subconscious mind that is keeping all of your trauma in your subconscious mind, holding on to all of the shame, the fear, the anger that you once experienced in life, in past traumatic situations, and weren't able to process. So now they are stuck in your subconscious, creating subconscious blocks. And your subconscious is repeating those same negative thoughts and negative emotions over and over, right? If you think about the negative thoughts that you have, you will realize that it's always the same shit. It's always the same negative thoughts. It's always the same fears. It's always the same loop that is on repeat. Now you understand that you have certain subconscious blocks that need to be released in order to complete this quantum jump. This is literally the first step, okay? The second step of a quantum jump is, after you have released those blocks, to consistently embody this future version of yourself, to consistently think and feel like this version of yourself. If you're not doing the first step, you will not be able to pull that off, because you will be pulled back into your trauma. You will be pulled back into the same negative thoughts, into the same fears, because the trauma blocks are still there.
The void is one of the craziest places and timelines to be in, and I'm currently in it right now, and it is weird AF. The void is when your old self has fully dissolved, but your newer self hasn't fully emerged, and you feel a little lost, a little disconnected, a little confused about your purpose, and it can be very difficult to move through. But some of the things that I've been doing that have really helped me move through the void is a lot of gratitude. Like, anything that I'm receiving, I give it extra gratitude, because this is the timeline that I'm shifting into. And I'm trying to look at it from not like a past perspective, like I've lost something, but that I'm in the timeline of just fully receiving. And that has been such a game changer during this time, because let me tell you, it is one of the hardest seasons, you know, because you're quantum leaping, and the only thing that feels normal is the place that I live, you know, like, but everything else feels so weird, like, just from the people to like my career to just everything is fully changing, and it can feel very scary. But I know that, you know, I'm not broken, I'm just being reborn, and that this is not a punishment, but an initiation. So a lot of gratitude, a lot of trust, a lot of surrender. That is the void, my friend.
Be like, but see, the difference is y'all be in a passenger seat. I'm driving. Let me stop. Not too much. This is for my quantum leap girlies. This is for my astrology girlies. Baby, in order to quantum leap, you have to physically stay in the energetic vibration of the things you want despite your physical reality. At the beginning of this Saturn retrograde, I told y'all I was going through a lot. I was going through a breakup. I had to move, and my 3D reality was triggering me, right? But I had declared that I was new. How do you prove that you're new though? You respond to things in a different way. So where old me would have been sad, down, why me, a victim, because that's what I'm used to being. New me was like, no, I deserve better, I deserve more, and I'm gonna stay in that vibration. I'm gonna continue to think those thoughts. Because in order for you to bring anything into your physical reality, you have to know it exists first. And that means you have to get in close proximity to it. Like, I want to be clear, this ain't my car. I'm never gonna flex, but I'm in close proximity to it. I'm driving this hoe, which means now it's gonna be nothing for me to bring it into my reality because I've seen it, I've touched it, I've smelt it, I know that it exists. But before I could even physically bring these things into my 3D, I had to remain there mentally. I had to. And I said this on my Patreon with my Aquarius full moon reading, because the Aquarius full moon was all about rebellion against the system, and not just the matrix. A lot of times we get so caught up on the matrix systems. No, rebel against your own systems. If you're used to crying about it, try yelling. If you're used to going in the house and hiding yourself under the covers, try going outside. If you're used to being quiet about it, try crashing out. If you're used to crashing out, try shutting the up. Do things differently. If you're used to letting your physical reality send you down a spiral and give you negative thoughts, maybe try letting your physical reality motivate you. I know that with the retrogrades it's hard because the retrogrades tend to send us back to the past. You're going back to the past to see how far you've come, not get stuck there. And I had to realize that when Saturn retrograde was sending me back to things I thought I overcame, there was a moment I almost went back emotionally, mentally, because I'm like, well, God must hate me. Why am I going through this shit? But I was like, you know what? No, I'm new. And new me is seeing how far I've come, and I'm keeping that energy. That's how you quantum leap. What the
I heard someone talking about a quantum leap the other day, and it got me thinking. They say that every leap starts with a quantum crumble. It's the phase where the parts of your life you've outgrown start breaking down. For me, it showed up as my relationship ending, realizing I had outgrown my city that I had lived in for over 8 years, and knowing that I needed to find my true happiness again. Then you enter into the void. This is just that in-between time. You're not who you were, but you're also not this new version of yourself either. It's kind of like you're standing on a train platform. You know that something's coming, but you just don't know exactly when. This is when you get crystal clear on what it is that you want out of your life, how you want it to look and feel, and who it is that you want to be. This is when you need to spend time journaling, spend time alone, and start believing that things are changing for the better. And then slowly, this beautiful shift starts happening. Your habits line up, new opportunities present themselves to you. You just feel more like yourself, but a new, improved version. So many of the things that you manifested are happening in real time. This is the quantum leap. It's not a big dramatic moment, but the accumulation of better choices and a life that starts matching your standards. I feel like I'm genuinely in my quantum leap, like I've arrived. It feels kind of surreal because it's been a journey to get here. This is possible for everyone. You can choose the version of reality you want to live in.
Okay, one more time for the girlies who don't get it. Wealth does not create abundance. Abundance creates wealth. That means I cannot will myself, force myself, hustle my way to enough dollars that will make me feel abundant. This is because of the law of cause and effect. What is in the cause is already in the effect. Let that sink in for a moment. That means that if I'm not feeling abundant, I'm feeling scarce, and I chase wealth outside of me in order to create abundance, that's not possible because what was in the cause, which was scarcity, will be in the effect. Anything created from scarcity will continue to feel like scarcity. For example, if I feel poor and I want to make money in order to feel not poor, getting money will only feel like the same anxiety with a different outfit on. Now I'll just feel afraid that I'm going to lose all the money. I may even get to a certain income level and still want more money. This happens to people all the time. So if more money is not going to solve the problem, then what do? We dissolve the blocks and beliefs to experiencing abundance now. What is actually stopping me from believing that I am fully safe, fully capable, fully loved, fully free, fully creative now? That's obviously not very easy, and you generally need guidance. But once I do that work, and my desire is no longer to attain abundance because I have tapped into abundance, now I can create and attract without control, with detachment, with playfulness. And because wealth is abundance expressed, the more I can tap into this creative playfulness, this detachment, the more wealth I'm going to experience. Why? Because I'm healing my perfectionism. I'm healing my fear. I'm healing my anxiety. Nothing outside of me needs to happen anymore in order to secure myself. Everything I create is an extension and experience of myself. Everything should at this point be service-led, heart-led. And when you really think about it, the most amount of sales happen when I solve a problem and or make someone feel different.
The universe wants to see how you react when it starts to shift your timeline. When I say some of the crazy that never happens to me has been happening to me lately, I'm like, oh, the shift is coming. The shift is coming. The energy is trying to see if I'm going to hop back into my old loop or I'm going to accept this new energy. And when I tell you, baby, I've been waiting on this new energy, so I'm ready. I'm so ready for this shift. When you know what's going on in your life, when you hop into the quantum, when you learn the golden ratio, you learn how life likes to loop, you learn how capitalism keeps everybody in these loops and keeps everybody trapped, keeps us working, keeps us, our minds locked in this cycle of constantly thinking that we have to live our lives a certain way. When your life finally shifts and you get out of that loop, your life is going to test to see if you're going to hop back in that loop. 9 times out of 10, this is where people lose, because they hop back in the loop. I'm not hopping back this time.
Guys, quantum leaping is real. In the past few months, my life has completely changed. I've made more money than I've ever made. I am living in my dream apartment, and I just left the lot from getting my brand new 2023 Benz. And if you ask me how this happened, like, I don't freaking know. Like, I know that I've been working, but like, damn. Like, every single thing that I have dreamed, imagined, asked God for, He has blessed me with. And during this time also, it's been so spiritual because I've been like losing relationships with people in my life who I couldn't imagine not being in my life. They're no longer here, but at the same time, simultaneously, I'm getting blessed. This freaking weekend, my life went like shit. Stuff hit the fan, y'all. It hit the fan. And today, God told me, go get your new car. I just this weekend cut off a stream of my income because they was tripping. And God said, go get your new car. So I listen because I'm always obedient when God tells me to do something. And I'm sitting in my brand new 2023. Like, I just genuinely cannot believe it. And I just want to let you guys know that, like, anything you guys are really, like, wanting, dreaming, you can have. You just need to call it into your life. Like, you literally need to command it. Like, say, I have this. I already have this. Like, I have the car. I have the place. I have the family. I have whatever it is that you want. And if you genuinely believe it, like you have an identity shift and you're so delusional that you believe that you have these things that you don't already have because we call those things that be not as though they were, then guess what? You will open your eyes and you will have it. Like, you will literally have it. Like, I'm living proof. Like, I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe it. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And I'm about to eat this and drink my cup. Wait, should we just eat it together? Hold on. I don't even eat McDonald's. Well, I'm lying. I sneak McDonald's. But I have to come here to seal the deal. Like, I have to come here. Bruh. It's so good. This is how I quantum leaped into my dream life in the matter of a few months. Y'all asked, I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. Y'all who haven't seen my last video, like, my life is completely different, y'all. Like, I am not the same Dahlia. I got a new place. I got a new car that I just got yesterday, brand new Benz. I made the most money I ever made in my life. Like, y'all, I quantum leaped. I'm looking around still like, how did I get here? So now into what I did. And I'm gonna eat while we talk about this. All right, y'all. So the first thing that I did is when I first woke up in the morning, because, you know, when we first wake up, we're in our theta, and I'm gonna let you guys know what that is later if y'all wanna know. But theta is basically when you're super tapped into your subconscious mind, right? So what this means is that, like, during this time, you need to be manifesting. Like, when you first wake up, you need to be saying, like, you know, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I got this, I got that, this is happening for me. Don't be manifesting like, oh, can I please have this, can I please have that, please do this for me. That's not how it works. You gotta, like, demand it, you gotta call it. Second thing I did is something called the phone call method, y'all. Now, this is when you're literally, like, on the phone. Like, I would do this when I was in the car, but you acting like you talking to a friend or something, and you telling them about your life, but you saying it like it already happened. So you'll say something like, oh my gosh, girl, my life is so amazing right now. All right, I just got my new biz. I just moved into my new place. I made $30,000 this year. Like, you want to be so specific. If you want a man, girl, you're going to be like, my man, he just proposed to me. Like, you doing this. And I would do this every single morning in the car, acting like I was on Bluetooth when I was driving. That's what I would do, y'all. Y'all want to see me talking? I was talking to myself. I wasn't talking to nobody. The thing I would do was count my money, y'all. So I would go and I would get hundreds, I get 50s, I get 20s, and I would sit there and I would just count it. Like, I would get that cash in my hand and I would count it, man. I was a rapper. Now, if you ain't got the money to get it and just count it, go on YouTube, listen to the money sounds, watch them people count their money. I know I'm struggling. Watching people count their money. And it's something about doing that, and do it with the big bills, because we want big bills in our life. But it's something about doing that, y'all. Getting it into your psyche, it literally changes things. And when I start doing that, y'all, money start coming to me. Blessings start coming to me. Like, it was crazy. And now I know y'all didn't think it was all gonna be peaches and cream, because it wasn't. Like, when you're shifting timelines, guys, you're gonna have turbulence. It's not always fun. I have lost so many friends and people and family in my life who I thought, like, I'm looking around like, yo, you guys really dropped like flies. Like, I had to let y'all go. And it was necessary, because when you shift in timelines, like, anything that's attached to you is not supposed to be attached to you, or you have to drop it. It can't go with you where you're going. So that means that, like, stuff is hitting the fan for a minute, but as it's hitting the fan, you're getting blessed. It's, like, really intense. One day you wake up and you look around and you be like, yo, like, is this my life? Like, it's almost scary. It's so surreal, because that's a lot to go on in a few months, y'all. That's a lot for anybody, but that's what happened for me.
When you're chasing a dream and building a vision, the biggest thing that's going to trick you out your spot is thinking that nothing's working and thinking that nothing's happening. When you feel the pressure to quit the most, that is when you are on the brink of your breakthrough and a miracle is about to happen. That's literally when the thing that you could have never seen coming or never imagined happening happens. And I know you don't want to hear keep going, because that's what everybody says. Keep going, keep going. It's like, bitch, I'm going. I am going, okay? I don't want to hear that shit. I'm going through it right now. I know exactly how it feels. People tell you that because when you feel that desire to quit the most, you're literally within inches of the thing that you're trying to attain. And also, if you quit, it's literally never going to happen. So you got two options. You can let all your hard work go in vain and just throw in the towel and quit, or you can keep going and repeat to yourself, I cannot lose if I do not quit.
I'm going to put you on the manifestation routine that I used that took me from a 2K month to a 20K month in approximately 2 weeks. What I want you to do as the very first thing, and this is what I did, is close your eyes and imagine yourself as the version of you who already has that money. So for me, I knew straight away that people were buying like crazy every single day. I had people in my DMs banging down the doors to work with me. I tapped into that identity every single day by, first of all, waking up in the morning, and while in theta brainwaves, I would listen to a voice note to a rampage that I recorded for myself, talking to myself about how amazing it feels to have all of those people banging down the doors to work with me. And I would feel the feelings of having that thing already while I was listening to the theta rampages, first thing in the morning before I even officially opened my eyes, and just as I was about to go to sleep. Then during the day, you want to get as much movement as possible. When you move your body, you shift your energy, you start getting ideas. When you're moving your body and you're all excited and endorphins are flowing, you're gonna talk to yourself as if that thing has already happened, how you feel, how amazing it feels, etc., etc. Then you're going to take action in your business as if that has already happened. You're going to create the contents that's speaking to the clients that you want to attract. You're going to create contents that's speaking to the person who is ready to buy. You're going to create content that follows buyer psychology, not just random tips and tricks and shit that you have seen on the internet. You need to listen to yourself, to your intuition, and to the divine guidance that is flowing through you when you are actively manifesting a different timeline, a different reality. Every single chance you get, You talk to yourself as if that thing has already happened and build up the emotions and the feelings of already having that thing. When you do this consistently every day, even when you have a client coming in and telling you your shit is too expensive, even if you have a client asking you for a refund, even if something happens, that is a sign that your thing is working, and you persist in it for long enough for it to materialize in your reality. And I promise you, when you do this, you will have a completely different life in 2 weeks. This entire process is called identity shifting, and when you master this, you will master your reality and you will master your business.
I just manifested my very first $200,000 month, and I want to share a little secret sauce with you guys. The month of May, we hit over 200K, which is the first time I've ever done that. I've been reprogramming my subconscious day in and day out for the last couple of months so that I can transition from 100K months to 200K months. Now, what really helped me in the month of May is practicing the law of detachment. The law of detachment allows me to detach from anything that my 3D circumstances is showing me that does not align or agree with my specific desire. So if something comes up and it's telling me, hey, you're not going to hit your goal, you're not getting what you want, you're not good enough, you're unworthy, I literally look at it and say, no, thank you. I'm not offering an emotional reaction to it. I'm not going to allow it to make me spiral or get out of control. I make sure to really remain regulated and calm using nervous system regulation exercises while I reprogram the subconscious day in and day out with my audio tracks. And on the very last day on the month of May, we hit the $200,000 goal. Not a day before, not a day too late, but right on the day of, which just proves to me that whatever command I give my subconscious, it will act it out for me. It will compel me to take the proper action to bring to me my exact desire.
5 unexpected signs you're quantum leaping. Number 1, shit hits the fan, aka the quantum crumble. Your old life does not match the character you're playing, so all the old paradigms have to collapse. That looks like divorce, breakups, friends cleanses, financial breakdowns, job losses, getting ejected out of your home. Everything that is not a match to your new identity has got to go. Which brings me to sign number 2. The difference between a rough patch and the quantum crumble is there's this deep sense of calmness and clarity despite the chaos surrounding you. Your circumstances will look like a hot mess, but internally you've experienced a transformation, a deep knowingness of your purpose and where you're heading in life. Sign number 3, time feels weird AF. When we jump timelines through the quantum field, we actually bend time and space in our 3D reality. Time will either feel like it's flying by or slowing down, and sometimes it feels like a weird mixture of both. You're surfing the leap, so enjoy the ride. Sign number 4, you might be having ascension symptoms, which can feel like a flu-like bug, dizziness, a ringing in your ear, or a disconnection to your physical body, like you're floating in space. When we upgrade to higher frequencies, our bodies actually need to catch up. So during this time, it's common to be overeating or eating extra light. Give your body what it needs. And sign number 5, you're in the void. Hello, isolation, and what I call the witness protection program era. When we jump in between worlds and collapse time and space, we need time alone to step into our new character, our upgraded identity. I can promise you, you're not a loser, you're just quantum leaping and stepping into the person you came here to be. The more signs you're experiencing, the greater the quantum leap. Buckle up, your new life is right around the corner.
A lot of people have the notion that making a quantum leap is difficult and requires a lot of effort, but it's actually the exact opposite. So here are 2 ideas that can help you realize this. So if you doubled a penny every single day for 1 month, so 1 cent the first day, 2 cents the second day, 4 cents the third day, you would have $10.7 million by the end of the month. That's from Darren Hardy, the book The Compound Effect. And another analogy is if you put a frog in boiling water, it will immediately jump out. But if you put a frog in lukewarm water and slowly increase the heat, it will boil itself alive. So that's definitely a morbid example, but both of these show that with small incremental steps consistently and persistently taken, you will reap massive rewards. This is the compound effect. This is exponential growth. This is what is required to make a quantum leap. If you radically try to change all of your behavior, just like the frog, you're going to immediately freak out, jump out of that water. Your nervous system's going to freak out and you're going to self-sabotage. Little do you know that by taking small incremental steps every single day, 1 cent the first day, 2 cents the second day, you'll have $10.7 million by the end of the month. You'll have drastic transformation by the end of the month. So if you're ready for a quantum leap in your life, make sure that you save this video, comment quantum leap, and don't forget to follow your girl, because I'm going to help you make a quantum leap in your life and step into your highest self.